Today we are going to learn how to use a little bit Excel, and we are going to use it for the project that we have been developing and the Likert scale. So after you have the Likert scale, very important that we have all the information gathered because we have to put it into a spreadsheet. Okay, so we're going to open a spreadsheet, and in this case I already have a simulation of the questions and the data input into the spreadsheet. So what you're going to do is that you're going to have a row with the results. Okay, so you're going to have the results here, and in the results you are going to divide the spreadsheet into different columns from A to K. Remember that you have 10 questions on your Likert scale, and this is how you're going to place them. Today, after we input all the numbers into the spreadsheet, we are going to make a little bit of formulas using the measures of central tendency. That way we can find the mode, the median, the mean, and things like the variance and the standard deviation. So let's begin by inputting all the information. So what we're going to do is that we have the people. So I wrote 1, 2, 3, 4 all the way to 60. Okay. So we have the people that did our survey. You don't need to use the names. Sometimes the Likert scale can be anonymous. So what you're more interested in is in the number that they had. So these are the people, the 60 people. And here are the questions. Now in question 1, I have the value of their answer. So I have, for person number 1, in question 1, he marked 4, 1, 3, 3, 4, 1, 3, 5, 3, 2. So basically, remember that if question number 6 is your validation question, you have to score it inverse. So if that person wrote a 1 for you, in this data sheet it's going to be a 5. Okay, so that's the first thing we're going to do. So we're going to add up the numbers that each participant gathered. So here we're going to write the sum of the Likert scale. So we just know what was their score, or the score of the Likert scale. So this is a very simple formula. We just are going to type in equal sign sum, and we're going to open parentheses, and we're going to choose from B3 to K3. That way we can add up all the numbers from their Likert scale. We're going to close parentheses, and we're going to get a 29. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing for all the other numbers. So we can just, from the bottom right of the cell, there's a black cross, and we can make it start. We can just drag it down, and we're going to get all the other sums all the way to 60. Okay, so here I have the sum of each. So here I have some numbers where they scored. So in this case, this can be very helpful for your analysis, because depending on your questions and depending on your hypothesis, the higher they score, they tend to do something, or the less they score, they tend to do another thing. So it depends to you. But what I'm more interested in is, on every question, what are the different measures of central tendency? Okay, so we have a set of numbers on each side. We have a set of numbers, and these numbers are going to give us the central tendency, because for every question we should analyze the result, and at the end you're going to just show me the analysis of each of the results and the central tendency. Okay, so we're going to start with the measures of central tendency are very common for statistical analysis. People are often interested in knowing where the center of the distribution is located, and what scores tend to be in the middle of the distribution. That is what central tendency is. They also are curious about the average score and which scores are the most frequently reported. The median, mean, and mode are used to report this information. Median tells the middle score of the distribution. So first of all, we're going to find the median of each question. Okay, so we're going to write over here, we're going to write down the median. Okay, and the median is a very simple formula, just equal sign, median. Okay, and it says, okay, choose the numbers where you want to get your median from. So I'm going to choose all the numbers from question number 1 from all the participants, close parentheses, and here I go. So the median is, it tells me where the middle score of the distribution. So basically, almost everybody, or many of the people that were interviewed chose 4 in this question number 1. That's what tells me, like, that's the middle score of the distribution. Like, people chose 4 the most. Okay. Now, I also need mode. The mode is the most frequent data done or selected by the people. Okay. So the most frequent score in the distribution is the mode. So it's just like the median. You just type in equal sign, write mode, okay, we have it here, mode SNGL, and we are also going to choose the numbers from that same amount of data. So we're going to close parentheses, and there we go. So the most repeated number is also 4. So we have the median and the mode can be the same. They don't have to be the same. In this case, it's a coincidence. Okay, and we also have the mean. The mean is the average, is the arithmetic average of a set of numbers. So what we're going to write is equal sign, the mean, its formula is average, okay, and we're also going to choose these, okay. Very good. So we have the mean, the median, the mode, and the mean, okay. So these 3 numbers are very important. What if we want to do it for all the other numbers? It's pretty easy. You don't have to write the formula again. In Excel, what you do is that you're going to drag with the black cross sign, and you're going to take it all the way to question number 10. The same, we're going to do it with the mode, and the same with the median. You want to make this like visible for you to understand that it's different from the data that we collected. Okay, so I'm just going to give it maybe another color and just make it a little bit bigger. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so we have this information, the median, the mode, and the mean, because this is going to help us analyze after we have all this information and see where we're heading. Okay, so basically in question number 1, and what you have to do is analyze each thing by questions. Okay, so we have these 3 measures of central tendency. Now we are going to find 3 more. Okay, now we're going to find the range, we're going to find the variability, and we're going to find the standard deviation. Now it's your homework to find out how these 3 measures help us in analyzing the data. I'm just going to show you how to get that information from your data, but you have to tell me in your analysis, depending on the meaning of each, what is your conclusion. Okay? Now the range of a set of numbers would be the top number minus the bottom number, and that way you will see what is the least and the maximum point. Okay, so what we're going to do is that there's a formula that says max number, so I'm going to need the max number of these. Okay, so the max number in this set of data is 5. I'm going to insert another row because I'm going to need 2 more rows. So I have the range where I have the max number and the minimum number. Okay, so we have, let me insert another one. Okay, so I'm going to write down max number, min number, and the range. Okay, so as I said, max, so we know what's the max number. We select the questions. The min number is the minimum number of the set of numbers. Now, we know that it's 5 and 1. The min and the max are always going to be the same. Okay? So, the range of the numbers here, but it depends. Sometimes there's no 1. In this case, somebody chose 1. So, the range is going to be the maximum minus the minimum. So, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to write equal sign, maximum minus the minimum. Remember that in Excel, we always make reference to the position or to the cell, okay? And the cell is a combination of a column and a row. So in this case, we have the range is 4. So we have a range of 4 items, okay? Now, we are going to do this. We're going to select the 3, and we're going to do it for all of our questions. Again, okay? So in this case, I'm more interested in this one. What is the range? The maximum and the minimum are just values for finding the range. Okay? So we have that the range is always going to be 4 in this case. Okay? Now the variability of a set of numbers tells me how spread the answers were in a set or a distribution. It's going to tell me how far are the scores from the mean, okay? From the mean of the data. So what it tells me is like how people chose different or how diverse the different answers were and how the scores were. Okay? That is what it's going to help me find the variability of this data. If I find that the variability is very low, then people are always tending for one score, or it's very close to the score. Okay, so let's find the variability for our scores. Now, we're going to write equal sign. We're going to choose VARS because this one estimates variance based on a sample and ignores logical values. So we're just going to select all of our numbers. Okay. Here we go. Now it's telling me that there's a variability, like there's a probability of people choosing about almost 2. Like so people changed a little. Okay, almost 2 scores. So that's what it tells the variability. When something is always 1, let's see what happens if in this question everybody answers 4. Okay, let's say everybody answers 4. I'm going to write like everybody answered 4 in this question. Now look, the variability is 0 because there is no change from the mean. Of course, there is no variation. So that's what I want you to understand. Now the standard deviation for a set of numbers is the square root of the variability. Okay, So you can make the calculation on your calculator. So the standard deviation is just the square root of the variability. In this case, I'm going to write standard deviation S, because this one ignores logical values. We're also going to choose our numbers. Okay. Now we have the standard deviation, and the standard deviation, as I said, is just the square root of the variability. If I write square root of this cell over here, I will get the same number. Now the same thing that I'm going to do with these. Okay? And that's basically it. Now on the second part, I'm going to show you how the graph works.